What happens when heroes stop fighting villains and instead decide to turn on each other, all because of some agreement thing due to some accord stuff? And that question really does change the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe forever. Because we're going to talk about a movie that really defined the superhero genre and showed what happens when a team that you're part of suddenly becomes broken and shattered forever. What's up, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 27th episode of The Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're talking about Captain America Civil War, a film that shattered the Avengers completely, introducing new heroes and redefined what a superhero movie could be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I take you deep down on why this Marvel movie is so great and why you should totally rewatch it for yourself. By 2016, the MCU was already a massive global phenomenon. The Avengers had been assembled, threats had been avoided, but the damage they left behind, well, that's where the story begins. Following the events of the previous Avengers movie, Avengers Age of Ultron, governments around the world began to question of the Avengers' actions. Too much power, so much destruction, and not enough accountability. And that leads to one thing. Sokovia Accords are signed by many different nations of the world, including the US. They are designed to oversee and restrict the actions of superpowered individuals, including the Avengers, following their national destruction. And this, unfortunately, splits the Avengers into two ideologies. So Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr., supports the Accords, and he believes what the Avengers need oversight, especially after the Ultron program thing had totally backfired. Meanwhile, Captain America, played by Chris Evans, believes freedom matters more. He doesn't trust the governments to control heroes, especially him. And just like that, the Avengers are pretty much divided. Now, what makes this movie work is not just the action. It shows how professional everything gets. This isn't good versus evil. It's right versus right. Tony Stark is driven by guilt, while Steve Rogers is driven by loyalty. And at the center of it all is Bucky Barnes, played by the amazing, talented Sebastian Stan. So Bucky, as the Winter Soldier, he is accused of a huge attack in some city, and people think that's Bucky that did this, but that ain't him. Someone's framing him. And this is what has Steve believe that someone else is doing this. And Steve is willing to protect his best friend from all the accusations, even if it means going against the entire world. So, yeah, and there's a little more to the story. Civil War manages to introduce two major characters that have been joining in the MCU. The first of which is Black Panther, played by Chadwick Boseman. He is a prince of Wakanda, driven by revenge, and it evolves to something much greater. And we actually get to see the amazing performance this actor do. It's something he would later do in his own solo movie 2 years later. And then we got Spider-Man, played by the talented Tom Holland. He is young, energetic, and instantly lovable. His introduction alone became one of the most exciting moments in the MCU, especially for me since I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Seeing him playing the iconic character Spider-Man is super amazing. Now this movie would be happen when I just talked about some of the coolest stuff in the movie, especially the airport scene. The fight scene in the airport takes place at the Liebling and Haley Airport, which is an international airport located in Germany. And that fight scene is honestly pretty cool. Heroes versus heroes, each in their own beliefs, each with their own reasons. And while it's fun and exciting to see great moments, there's something really beneath it. These aren't enemies. They are friends being torn apart over a simple Accords thing. Now this is where things get pretty interesting here. And I'm about to tell you why. The real villain in the film isn't the strongest, but might be the smartest. That, my friends, is Helmut Zemo, who is played by Daniel Brühl. And his acting does pretty great from like the moment he is shown on screen. He doesn't try to overpower the Avengers. He breaks them from within by revealing the truth about Bucky and what happened to Tony Stark's parents. He creates a conflict that cannot be undone. And I also got to talk about the final battle. That last battle between Iron Man, Captain America, and Bucky, one of the most biggest emotional fights of the MCU. No big armies, no world-ending threat, just 3 people, and a lifetime of pain, betrayal, and loyalty colliding. And I gotta appreciate the talented end of these actors, and especially the direction from the Russo bros. They are the true winners of directing movies for the MCU. So, when Captain America Civil War released in 2016, it was not only a massive success, but pretty enjoyable for most fans, especially for me. It changed the entire MCU forever. The Avengers are no longer united, trust was broken, and the stage was set for even bigger consequences. This film proved that superhero movies can be complex, emotional, and deeply personal. Captain America Civil War didn't just tell a story, it changed everything. Friends became enemies, heroes are divided, and the MCU took one of its boldest steps forward. And on the road to Avengers Doomsday, this is where the cracks truly began. If you enjoyed this episode of Neat Reviews, make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below. Are you for Team Cap or Team Iron Man? And I'll see you in the next part as we continue the road to Avengers Doomsday. Have a good day and be good people.